History is full of wild ideas, but some inventions were so ahead of their time, they vanished without a trace. I'm Andrea, and I love digging into the stories of human ingenuity, the sparks of brilliance that could have changed everything. We're talking about technologies that feel like they belong in science fiction, not in ancient history books. These aren't just myths or legends. They are tangible objects and documented concepts that somehow, against all odds, slipped through the cracks of time, leaving us with tantalizing questions and a sense of profound what if. Imagine for a moment a world where ancient civilizations had computers, where electricity wasn't a modern marvel but a rediscovered secret, or where construction materials lasted not for decades but for millennia without decay. What would our cities look like? How different would our understanding of the past be? Today we're going on a build of a different kind. We're reconstructing the stories of 5 mind-blowing inventions that were lost to the ages. We're going to explore the evidence, separate the facts from the fiction, and try to understand how these incredible creations came to be and why they disappeared. This journey is all about the thrill of discovery and the beautiful, sometimes frustrating puzzle of history. These aren't just dusty relics, they are echoes of forgotten genius. They remind us that innovation isn't a straight line, and that sometimes the most brilliant ideas need to be lost before they can be truly appreciated. So, grab your safety goggles and your sense of wonder, because we're about to dive deep into the workshop of history and uncover some of its most astonishing and mysterious builds. Our first stop is one of my absolute favorite historical artifacts, the Antikythera mechanism. Picture this. It's the year 1901, and sponge divers are exploring a Roman-era shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island of Antikythera. They pull up statues, pottery, and this one corroded, unassuming lump of bronze. For decades, nobody knew what it was. It looked like a rock, maybe part of a statue. But as scientists began to carefully clean and examine it, using X-rays and advanced imaging, they uncovered something truly extraordinary hidden inside. A complex system of at least 30 interlocking bronze gears. This wasn't just a random collection of parts. It was a machine of breathtaking complexity, designed and built over 2,000 years ago. By studying the gear counts, the inscriptions, and the way the pieces fit together, researchers have pieced together its function. The Antikythera mechanism was an astronomical calculator. It could predict the positions of the sun, the moon, and the 5 planets known to the ancient Greeks. It could track lunar phases, predict eclipses with startling accuracy, and even tell you the date of the next Olympic Games. It was, in every meaningful sense, the world's first analog computer. The sheer craftsmanship is what gets me. The gears were cut with a precision that historians thought was impossible for that era. It represents a level of mechanical engineering that wouldn't be seen again in Europe for over 1,000 years, until the astronomical clocks of the late Middle Ages. The existence of this single device forces us to completely reevaluate what we thought the ancient Greeks were capable of. It's a ghost in the machine of history, a silent testament to a level of knowledge that was, for reasons we still don't fully understand, utterly and completely lost. Why weren't more of these made? Was it a one-off masterpiece? We just don't know. Next, we're traveling to ancient Mesopotamia, near modern-day Baghdad, for a mystery that's both simple and profoundly puzzling, the Baghdad Battery. In the 1930s, the director of the National Museum of Iraq discovered a set of peculiar artifacts. They were small terracotta jars, about 6 inches tall. Inside each jar was a copper cylinder, and suspended inside the copper cylinder, held in place by an asphalt stopper, was an iron rod. At first glance, it doesn't look like much, but to anyone with a basic knowledge of electrochemistry, the design is incredibly familiar. It's a galvanic cell, a battery. Now, the big question, the one that sparks endless debate, is whether that's what they were actually used for. If you fill these jars with an acidic liquid, something like grape juice, vinegar, or lemon juice, all readily available at the time, they will generate a small but measurable electric current, around 1 volt. Replicas have been built time and time again, and they work. I love a good practical test, and the evidence here is compelling. The components are all there, arranged in the perfect way to create a potential difference. The only missing piece is a definitive instruction manual. So, if they were batteries, what on earth were they used for? The power output is too low for lighting or any heavy-duty work. The leading theory is electroplating. Artisans could have used the small, steady current to apply thin layers of gold or silver onto other objects, a process called gilding. Other, more fringe theories suggest they were used for religious rituals to create a tingling sensation to all worshippers, or even for early forms of medical electrotherapy. Whatever their purpose, these simple clay pots suggest that the fundamental principles of electricity might have been understood and then forgotten, thousands of years before Volta and Galvani. Let's talk about weaponry, because some of the most potent and terrifying inventions are born from conflict. I'm talking about Greek fire. For centuries, this was the secret weapon of the Byzantine Empire, a terrifying incendiary substance that gave their navy an almost unbeatable edge. Imagine being an enemy sailor, watching in horror as a stream of liquid fire shoots from a Byzantine ship, a substance that not only sets your wooden vessel ablaze, but continues to burn fiercely, even after it hits the water. There was no putting it out. Trying to douse it with water only seemed to make it burn hotter. The accounts from the time are the stuff of nightmares. They describe it being projected from large siphons, or mounted on the prows of ships. It would cling to everything it touched, sails, wood, and people, and burn with an intense heat, accompanied by thick, choking smoke. This wasn't just simple fire. This was a sophisticated chemical weapon, the napalm of the ancient world. It was so effective that it's credited with saving Constantinople from 2 separate Arab sieges, literally changing the course of history. The psychological impact alone must have been devastating. But here's the most fascinating part. The formula was a closely guarded state secret, known only to a select few, and they guarded it so well that it was eventually lost forever. Historians and chemists have been trying to reverse engineer it for centuries. The recipe likely included ingredients like petroleum or naphtha, quicklime, sulfur, and maybe pine resin. The quicklime would react with water, generating immense heat and possibly igniting the petroleum mixture. But the exact proportions, the specific ingredients, and the method of delivery remain a complete mystery. The secret of the unquenchable flame died with the empire that wielded it. From ancient secrets, we leap forward to the early 20th century and into the mind of one of history's greatest and most enigmatic inventors, Nikola Tesla. We all know Tesla for his work with alternating current, radio, and the Tesla coil. But he also claimed to have conceived of something far more powerful and terrifying, a particle beam weapon he called Teleforce, which the press sensationalized as a death ray. This wasn't a laser or a simple energy beam. It was something fundamentally different, a weapon that could, in his words, bring down a fleet of 10,000 enemy airplanes at a distance of 200 miles. Tesla's vision was for a defensive weapon. He believed that by making warfare so utterly destructive, it would become obsolete, a sort of early Cold War-style mutually assured destruction. He described a system that would accelerate tiny particles of mercury or tungsten to incredible speeds, 48 times the speed of sound, and fire them in a focused beam. This beam would carry such immense kinetic energy that it could melt engines and disable any target instantly. He spent the last decades of his life trying to secure funding for his Peace Ray, approaching governments and financiers, but he was largely seen as a brilliant mind who had drifted into fantasy. After Tesla's death in 1943, the story takes a mysterious turn. The FBI immediately seized all of his papers, notes, and research from his hotel room. Officially, the government's top scientists reviewed his work on the particle beam and declared it purely speculative, with no workable design. But did they? Skeptics and conspiracy theorists have argued for decades that the government secretly took his research and developed it in black projects. While there's no hard evidence, the idea of a lost death ray design, locked away in a government vault, is a powerful and enduring myth. It's a story of genius, ambition, and the line between a world-changing invention and a madman's dream. For our final invention, we're going back to the Roman Empire, and we're looking at something that's all around us, yet completely unique: Roman concrete. As a maker and a builder, this one really speaks to me. The Romans were master engineers, and their structures, the Colosseum, the Pantheon, the aqueducts, have survived for 2 millennia. They've endured earthquakes, weathering, and even the crashing waves of the sea. Modern concrete structures, by contrast, can begin to crumble in as little as 50 years. What was their secret? How did they make something so impossibly durable? For centuries, the answer was lost. We knew they used a mix of volcanic ash, lime, and seawater, but we couldn't replicate the results. The secret, it turns out, lies not just in the ingredients, but in the chemistry. Recent studies have made a breakthrough. Scientists discovered that when seawater percolates through the concrete, it reacts with the volcanic ash, growing new interlocking crystals, specifically a rare and durable mineral called tobermorite. This means Roman concrete isn't static. It's a dynamic material that actively heals itself and gets stronger over time when exposed to the elements. It's absolutely brilliant. This discovery is more than just a historical curiosity. It's a game changer. Imagine modern buildings that could repair their own cracks, or seawalls that become stronger the more they're battered by the ocean. Researchers are now working feverishly to reverse engineer this hot mixing process and the precise chemical formula to create a new generation of super durable, self-healing concrete. In a way, this lost invention is on the verge of being found again. It's a perfect example of how sometimes, to build the future, we have to look deep into the past and rediscover the genius that was there all along. From ancient computers to self-healing concrete, these lost inventions are more than just historical footnotes. They are powerful reminders of the cyclical nature of knowledge. They show us that brilliant ideas can emerge, shine brightly, and then fade into obscurity, waiting for a future generation to stumble upon them once more. Each of these stories, the Antikythera mechanism, the Baghdad battery, Greek fire, Tesla's teleforce, and Roman concrete, challenges our assumptions about the past and the linear progression of technology. They prove that ingenuity is a timeless human trait. It makes you wonder what else is out there, buried in the sand, submerged under the sea, or hidden away in a forgotten manuscript. What other sparks of genius have we lost? These stories inspire us to keep digging, to keep questioning, and to keep building. Because the next great breakthrough might not be a new invention at all, but the rediscovery of an old one. It's a testament to the idea that no piece of knowledge is ever truly lost as long as there are curious minds willing to look for it. The spirit of these inventors, from the anonymous Greek gear maker to the visionary Nikola Tesla, lives on in every person who dares to ask, what if? They teach us that even when an invention disappears, the idea behind it can have a life of its own, echoing through the centuries. Which of these inventions do you wish still existed today? Let us know in the comments.